नमस्कार आपण मानक समस्त को यही वीडियो बहुत बहुत स्वागत। आज यह वीडियो में आपन सहित थर्ड सेमिस्टर पॉलिटिकल साइंस ऑनर्स रो कोर पेपर 7 रो यूनिट 2 थियोरेटिकल पर्सपेक्टिव्स रो किछि वन मार्क्स क्वेश्चन आंसर मैं आपन सहित वीडियो शेयर करबी आ वीडियो आगो को कहबी जे आपण माने यार पीडीएफ पा नोट्स को किपर पाई पारबे। तो यही वीडियो हम खाली वन मार्क्स देखिबा। तो चलନ୍ତୁ स्टार्ट करबा। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन हेउची The greatest happiness of the greatest number is the famous phrase of dash na Jeremy Bentham. Jeremy Bentham famous phrase the greatest happiness of the greatest number. According to dash, individuals are the primary international actors. According to liberals, individuals are the primary international actors. What realism is called dash realism? Now what realism is called defensive realism. Mature Seymour realism it is called dash realism. Now mature realism is called offensive realism. Politics among nations, the struggle for power and peace 1948 in the main work for dash. Now Hans J. Morgenthau means the politics among nations, the struggle for power and peace. Next question, CEDAW stands for dash. CEDAW, C for convention, D for elimination, D for discrimination, A for against women means convention on the elimination of discrimination against women. Convention on elimination of discrimination against women CEDAW was proposed by the dash in December 1979. Now United Nations in December 1979. Dash is a system of social and power relations where men dominate and control women. Now patriarchy is a system of social and power relations where men dominate and control women. Dash is advocacy of the rights of women. Now feminism is the advocacy of rights of women. The dash is generally understood to refer to less economically developed countries. Now the global south is generally used to understood to refer to less economically developed countries. Dash constitutes the core of a realistic approach. Now conflict constitutes the core of realistic approach. The theory of dash is a new name for balance of power in modern nuclear age. The theory of deterrence is a new name for balance of power in the modern nuclear age. Nuclear diplomacy came into existence during the period of dash diplomacy. Nuclear diplomacy came into existence during the period of Cold War diplomacy. Next question, realism emerged in its modern form largely in reaction to dash idealism. Contemporary realism is also called neo-realism. Contemporary realism is also called neo-realism. Dash emphasizes that international relations should be guided by morality. Now idealism emphasizes that international relations should be guided by morality. Dash is grounded in an emphasis on power, politics and the pursuit of national interest. Realism is grounded in an example on power, politics and the pursuit of national interest. Dash is a metaphor for undeveloped countries. Global South is metaphor for undeveloped countries. Eurocentrism is based on dash civilization. Eurocentrism based on Western civilization. The root of idea Eurocentrism is derived from dash ethnocentrism. The root of idea Eurocentrism is derived from ethnocentrism. Eurocentrism was developed during the dash colonialism, European colonialism. The word dash was applied in the context of core periphery and dependency model of the world. Eurocentrism was applied in the context of core periphery and dependency model of the world. In the core periphery model, dash is the core, Europe is the core. In the core periphery model, Europe is at the core. In the semi-geography and periphery model, dash countries are there, the third world countries are there. New realism is developed from dash realism. New realism is developed from classical realism. From the late 1940s until the end of the 1980s, world politics was dominated by ideological confrontation between the United States and the Soviet Union. Now we discuss some questions on one word answers. The word global south was used in the context of which one? Vietnam War. The word global south was used in the context of Vietnam War. The developed countries located in the north of the world is called what word? Now the developed countries located in the north of the world is called global wall. Which line is an imaginary line which divides between rich countries in the north and poor countries in the south of the world? Now, branded line is imaginary line which divides between rich countries in the north and poor countries in the south of the world. Who is the creator of a branded line? Now, Willy Branded is the creator of a branded line. At present, how many countries have been identified in global south? Now, at present, 157 countries have been identified global south country. In which year Willy Brandt had prepared report on the theme relating to international development in 1980. In 1980, where Willy Brandt had prepared report on the theme relating to international development. What is the main reason behind the establishment of Eurocentrism in global south? Now, colonialism is the main reason behind the establishment of Eurocentrism in global south. The term Cold War diplomacy refers to very specific aspect of diplomacy that emerged after which World War? The Second World War. Who argued that security can only be realized through self-help. That the realistic argue that security can only be realized through self-help. Who donates in an anarchic structure? Self-help is necessary in the principle of action. Now, Walsh notes in an anarchic structure, self-help is necessary the principle of action. Who coined the term Eurocentrism or the term of ideology in 1970s? Now, Samir Amir coined the term Eurocentrism as the term from an ideology in the 1970s. The term Eurocentrism was popularized by in the context of decolonization and internationalism in which century? In the mid 20th century. Who used the term Eurocentrism in the context of global core periphery or dependency model of capitalist development? Now, Samir Amin used the term Eurocentrism to the context of a global core periphery or dependency model of a capitalist development, which movement involves struggle for political and legal rights and equal opportunity for women. Now, the feminist movement involves struggle for political and legal rights and equal opportunity for women. According to whom states are extension of society? Na family. According to feminist, states are extension of society. Liberal approach to the study of international politics has its roots in the development of liberal political theory in which century? Na 17th century. Which tradition generally takes a positive view of human nature? Now, which liberal tradition generally takes a positive view of human nature. Who widely considered the first liberal thinker of the 17th century? Now, John Locke widely considered with the first liberal thinker of the 17th century. So in this video we discuss, you need to one last question answer. If you get the notes or PDF, so join our Telegram group, link in the description. Thank you to all of watching this video.